You are exhausted because you are fighting things you were never meant to control. Think about your typical day. How much time do you spend worrying about what other people think of you, or agonizing over a mistake you made 3 years ago? How often do you stress about future outcomes that haven't even happened yet, or feel your blood boil because of a delay in traffic? This mental exhaustion comes from a single source. You are trying to exert power over reality itself. Most of your anxiety does not come from your actual problems. It comes from your resistance to the things you cannot change. But what if there was a way to shut off that noise? Today, I'm going to share Stoic mindset shifts that will immediately reduce your overthinking and worry. Peace does not begin when you finally fix everything in your life. Peace begins where control ends. The problem is that the human brain is hardwired to seek certainty. It wants to predict the future and ensure total safety. Because of this, we replay scenarios over and over in our heads, trying to prepare for every possible outcome. We believe that worry is a form of protection. It creates an illusion of control, making us feel like we are doing something productive by obsessing. But the truth is that most external events remain entirely unpredictable. No matter how much you worry, the weather will change, people will act according to their own nature, and the future will remain uncertain. The result of this constant mental tension is frustration and burnout. As the Stoics observed, you often suffer twice. Once in your imagination, and once in reality. If the event never happens, you suffered for nothing. If it does happen, you simply chose to suffer longer than necessary. Stoicism begins with a simple, brutal division: what you control versus what you do not. This is the foundation of the philosophy. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic teachers, focused entirely on this internal control. He argued that your power is limited to your own thoughts, your choices, your effort, and your responses. You do not control other people's opinions, the timing of events, the results of your work, the past, or the ultimate uncertainty of life. Anxiety grows the moment you emotionally attach yourself to what is not yours to govern. It is like trying to move a mountain by screaming at it. Peace comes from radical clarity. When you stop trying to manage the universe and start managing your own mind, the weight of the world lifts off your shoulders. Shift 1. Stop negotiating with reality. Reality does not change just because you resist it. When you say, "this shouldn't be happening," or "why me?" you are mentally arguing with what already exists. This creates massive internal stress. Acceptance is not surrender, and it is not being weak. Acceptance is an intelligent starting point. It is acknowledging the facts so you can decide what to do next. Stop wishing the world were different and start dealing with the world as it is. When you stop fighting the present moment, you save your energy for the actions that actually matter. Shift 2. Replace "what if" with "what now?" The phrase "what if" is the primary fuel for fear. It takes you out of the present and drops you into 1,000 dark, imagined scenarios. What if I lose my job? What if they don't like me? What if I fail? This speculation is a trap. Replace it with "what now?" Instead of fearing a scenario, ask yourself, if this happens, what is my response? This forces you back into action and presence. It shifts your mind from a state of passive fear to a state of active response. You stop being a victim of your imagination and start being a master of your circumstances. Shift 3. Focus on your next controllable action. Big worries feel overwhelming because they are too large to handle at once. They shrink instantly when you break them down into immediate actions. When you feel a wave of anxiety about the future, Stop and ask, what can I do right now? Even a small, simple action restores your sense of agency. You may not be able to control the entire project, but you can control the next email you write. You cannot control the economy, but you can control your own budget today. Focus on the tiny territory you actually govern, and the rest will feel far less threatening. Shift 4. Understand that worry changes nothing. We often treat worry like it is useful, but it produces absolutely nothing. It is like running on a treadmill. You're using a lot of energy, but you aren't going anywhere. Worry drains your mental resources without changing a single external outcome. Calm thinking is useful because it leads to solutions. Panic thinking is useless because it only leads to more panic. Remind yourself constantly, my worry has never solved a problem, but my presence of mind has. Choose to use your energy on thinking that leads to action, not thinking that leads to a dead end. Shift 5. Let people be who they are. A massive amount of our anxiety comes from trying to manage other people. We want them to be more grateful, more logical, or more like us. But their opinions, their moods, and their choices are entirely theirs. You cannot control how someone perceives you or how they behave. Release the need to manage everyone around you. When you let people be who they are, you are no longer responsible for their errors. You are only responsible for how you treat them. This detachment is not about being cold. It is about respecting your own boundaries and theirs. Shift 6. Practice mental detachment. From outcomes, the Stoic way is to do your absolute best, but to stop clinging to the result. Attachment to a specific outcome creates fear, because the outcome is never fully in your hands. You can study hard, but you cannot guarantee an A. You can be a great partner, but you cannot guarantee someone will stay. Effort belongs to you. The outcome belongs to the world. When you focus on the quality of your effort rather than the certainty of the result, you become fearless. You find satisfaction in your own integrity rather than in external validation. Shift 7. Train calmness. Daily, calm is not a personality trait you are born with. It is a practiced skill. You must train your mind to stay stable before the storm hits. This means taking moments for brief reflection, journaling your thoughts, or simply using breathing pauses to check in with yourself. Repetition builds emotional stability. If you practice staying calm during small annoyances, like a slow internet connection or a rude comment, you will be prepared when life throws a major challenge your way. Stability is a muscle that must be worked every single day. It is important to understand a vital nuance here. Letting go is not the same as giving up. Stoicism does not mean passivity. You still act, you still plan, and you still prepare for the future. The difference is that you have no emotional dependence on certainty. You work hard because it is the right thing to do, not because you are terrified of a specific result. It is effort without obsession. You move through the world with a reserve clause, doing your best but acknowledging that things may not go as planned. This allows you to stay effective even when life is chaotic. In conclusion, remember that most of your worry is simply misplaced control. You are carrying a heavy weight that was never yours to carry. You become lighter, faster, and more effective the moment you stop trying to govern the universe. Stoic peace comes from a disciplined focus on your own mind and your own actions. Master your response, and you will find that you no longer need to master the world. Control less, and you will suffer less. I want to hear from you. What is the one uncontrollable thing that you worry about the most? Is it the future, the opinions of others, or something from your past? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us support each other in letting go. I encourage you to pick just one of these mindset shifts and practice it for the rest of the day. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more Stoic content to help you build an unshakable mind. Until next time, stay focused on what is yours.